So first of all, I would like to thank for giving me this opportunity. I thank Mr. Ram Maruri Garu and also the organizers of this conference. And was told to present a talk on the Amrit Call Vimarsh Vikasit Bharat 2047. My talk is on innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. So this is my brief background. So I did my BTech, MTech, PhD from JNTUH Hyderabad, and I had my executive education from Chicago Booth School of Business, USA. So I come from various background. In fact, as being the child prodigy from eighth class, so my career has gone into academics, R&D, and industry. For the last 18 years, I have been into various fields, covering almost all categories, I can say. Now, right now, for the last 8 years, I have been supporting the startup companies. I have set up incubation centers of worth 80 crores, and then reached the startup valuation to about 500 crores as of now. And in fact, I do receive several awards, nearly 13 plus awards. Out of that, that APJ Abdul Kalam Award of 2019 as well. So, uh, with this short introduction, I just start my presentation with the present opportunity that we have is Amrit Call, where there are resources which I generally say in India. We have a lot of resources available. For the last 76 years of our independence, we have the academia industries of about nearly 1100 plus, and we have R&D centers which are nearly 7000 plus, and the industries are there. In fact, we are the largest MSME based country with nearly 633.9 lakh MSMEs, and 58 union ministries, and also 93 departments which are operating at central and state level. And I do say that this is a great resource that we have in India. And we feel that for the last 76 years, our policymakers and politicians, they have contributed irrespective of their political parties and all. I say that it's all the contribution that we got, and we are at this stage. And it is a great resource that we have, with a lot of R&D centers across the states. You can see here state-wise R&D centers that we have, where the wonderful innovations are going on. There are technology transfer departments present in these R&D centers. Nearly some thousand plus R&D centers have the technology transfer departments, out of which there are commercialized products which are available, made by our scientists, and these can be taken up to the next stage of industrialization and also the commercialization of those products. Thereby we can make India into a grown economy, I can say. We have several ministries which have done a lot of contribution to the scientific field through innovations and product making the products. So, like, we have DRDO, DAE, DOS, and MOES, MOEFC. These are all the various ministries and departments which are very crucial. For the last 76 years, they have done a very good contribution. In fact, out of 54 ministries, I just pick up few of them to show their contribution. So, if you take Indian Council of Agriculture Research, is alone having several research centers. If you take Ministry of Science and Technology, which is having nearly CSR organizations, like 40 CSR organizations are located. In fact, we have Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, under which there are 30 plus R&D institutions working. Like we have CDAC, we have CMET, CMET. So likewise, we have fantastic R&D centers where Made in India, Make in India products are happening. And we have Indian Council of Medical Research and Department of Academic Energy as well. And everybody knows about DRDO and ISRO contribution as well. So Indian scientists have been working on publications. 1.5 publications were being produced every year, and out of that, 60,000 patents filed recently, and it has reached 1 lakh more recently. And we have reached the 40th rank in Global Innovation Index. And the recent figure says that, we may go within 1 or 2 years to top 10 also. So right now, this figure which I am showing, 40th rank, is 2023. In fact, 2025 we reached top 20 to 25 in between. So various departments like Department of Science and Technology, Biotechnology, Department of Earth Sciences, Atomic Energy, Department of Telecommunications, Department of Agriculture and Research, Education, and even Department of Horticulture Research, and Niti Aayog, which is National Institution for Transforming India, have done a fantastic job. for the last recent 10 years, which has made our rank the global innovation index to the top level. What we see is the sustainable development of the country. We look for the sustainable development of our nation. We say that ours is a grown nation because we don't want to see the much of the skyscrapers, but we are a sustained development nation in the sense of having a stable economy, a stable financial a status, and we are not bankrupted. So we have a very good the stage of our nation which is referred as a sustainable growth, and we have a good financial institutions, good financial assets, services, markets which are very well. And in fact, every whatever the government with the political party comes in, so we have a very stable growth. In fact, the research, or you can say whatever the infrastructure that we have built in as of now, and also giving access to the people, whether it may be the grassroots level people, village level people, rural people, tier 2 tier 3 cities. So now we are focusing into tier 2 tier 3 more. And we have come to a stage of vimerge where the national education policy of 2020 and the national innovation startup policy of 2019 are doing miraculous jobs in terms of giving opportunity to the students and faculty to come into innovations, instead of just stopping at the publication level and also at the patent level. We are encouraging them to make them into the products through the incubation center setup, and also to becoming the startup companies. So there are several provisions given under these two policies recently, and they are doing very well good job. We happen to convert successfully several startups and innovators to come into the industrialization as well. So the role of a student and faculty, we are making them to become a startup company, and encouraging them to get the funding for these innovators, young people, and then making them into the startup companies as well. So there are a lot of research that is going to happen, but what we look is product development research and application research, service based research, through which the industrialization or the commercialization would happen, and this is how the economy of the country can grow. So we are encouraging the industry 4.0 and 5.0 innovations like artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, machine learning, 3D printer technologies, AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, robotics, drone technologies, internet of things. So these are the industry 4.0 and 5.0 technologies. Even quantum computing along with the robotics, we are encouraging the innovators. More recently, we have funded most of the startups in these areas, and they have shown very fantastic products to us. In fact, we are encouraging the startups or these or of any age. It may be the grassroots level people without any background of academic qualifications. It may be any age people starting from 18 years up to 60 years, where we are encouraging them with a radical and disruptive innovations, instead of going only to the incremental innovations, and also the sustainable innovations that we encourage them to come up with the products. In fact, the problem statements that what one has to start with the innovation, it has to be from various sources, like it can be from a general administration, academic, R&D, industry, or it can be from their surroundings, calamities, opportunities, and then make their problem statement into a strengthened one through a market research. And then the market research has to be performed to the customer, and the customer requirement or the gap analysis, through which one has to find out the innovation and make a product. And we see that there should be a scalability and viability, and then the revenue model and business model, then it can be taken forward. So every innovation comes with the TRL stages of 1 to 9, where we see any stage, if any innovator come, we will support them to become a startup company. So one has to come to the incubation center. Setting up the incubation centers is our priority, and as of now in India there are about 1500 incubation centers. We want more incubation centers to be set up, somewhat like around 5000 to 10,000 incubation centers we want to set up. At least there should be nearly 10,000 incubation centers by 2047. That is our target. And Vikasit Bharat, where we want to encourage all the innovations to become the commercialized stage, so that we make our India a topmost nation in the world or top one nation. So the incubation centers and accelerators are the places where we support the innovators to become the startup company. In fact, the startup definition was given by the Ministry of Commerce through DPIT, which is Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, stating that the startup company should have innovation. It should be a registered company as a private limited LLP or partnership. It should have below 100 crores of turnover starting from zero. It should be a registered one within 10 years of starting from zero. So we want to make them into a unicorn companies. In fact, now India has 140 unicorn companies. As of now, we are focusing into sector agnostic area, maybe agri-tech, fintech, biotech, deep tech, edtech, clean tech, health tech. So most of the startups in these areas, we want to take them at any stage, maybe ideation stage, prototype stage, and make them expansion and maturity level through our incubation centers and through our incubation, pre-incubation, and incubation programs, acceleration programs. So we give services, end-to-end services through incubation program, and starting from the registration of the companies, it may be the business or networking support, mentoring support, giving them access to funding, banking, loans, or venture capitalists, angel networks. And then we conduct several programs like low engagement programs, grand challenges, hackathons, conferences, product exhibitions. And so we see the success of the startup. The success of the startup means the financial growth with respect to funding from VC and the angel network, or it may be the acquisition or merger. And then there should be exit strategy as well. So we look forward to have startups from the stage of zebra stage or the cockroach stage, where there is an stable economical growth of the company, phoenix where there would be funded, and unicorn, the stage where they are hugely funded. And we see the Vikasit Bharat of 2047, and our focus, as I told, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 regions. We want to make grassroots level innovations. Right now, we are promoting 17 SDGs, and also environment, social governance, ESG, and getting carbon credits for the startup companies. In fact, we look for circular economy and sustainable growth, innovations in the sector agnostic areas, industrialization to women entrepreneurship, MSMEs, moreover, nano entrepreneurs and micro entrepreneurs. So we have right now 1.5 lakhs of startups present in India. As I told you, 1500 incubators are there and 130 youth startup unicorns. So the ultimate aim is to create the jobs, employment, and an improved economy. So we have seen some states which are actually successful in India. Gujarat with 9,000 startups and 800 women-led startups. Karnataka with IT products, innovations and startups, electronics, and also Kerala with 63 MSME clusters. So we have seen bananas cluster, pottery cluster, and also the handlooms and handicrafts based clusters. There are about 63 MSME clusters alone. I happen to be part of and facilitate nearly 5 clusters, even the socks cluster, where through socks manufacturing for the anti-diabetic, anti-bacterial socks manufacturing would be done. And Odisha state, where 1770 recognized startups are there. Tamil Nadu with a lot of programs like accelerator program, angel TL program, and Telangana state with the T Hub, Telangana state innovation cell, V Hub. So these are the various states which are very much successful in taking our country ahead, I can say. So with this, I would like to stop my presentation and then look forward for any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Z. That's a very wonderful thing. But, sitting in America, we have a very different impression of things. There are a lot of things, at least I see, that there's a lot of quantity, but the quality is missing, right? So one has to, I think we have a large population, we think in large numbers, but quality seems to be missing. So something that we need to do that, right? I have shared my email in the chat. Why don't you connect with me? And I'm very interested in what you're doing. So why don't you, and I would talking to you and not only others, it will be better for a presenter to give their background to what they want to do briefly, then maybe uh, point out the challenges or the problem they're facing, plus the opportunity they have. So the participant on this call can align themselves, and you can then invite people. The presenter can invite people in those areas where they have challenges, problems, or opportunities, because the presentation just not should end here. We want to be able to build bridges that the presenter and the attendees can have some kind of relationship build up here, to try to highlight areas. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Yeah. Anybody else? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. How can anybody hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. How can is the only incubation centers set by the government, or how does the government help in setting up, and how any of us who are hearing on this program can start an incubation center, and how much
Sir, can you
investment
repeat once again?
is
I just
required for that?
I had some unstable network. Can I have the question once again? Is that question is for me?
Yes, can you stop sharing, please? I think your bandwidth will be better. Just stop sharing. And then Mr. Jan was talking to you. Thank you. Yeah. Manji, please go ahead with your question.
What I'm saying is, you've given the good background, what is happening in
Right.
India, and we are thankful for that. But now, what we do from here, and how any of us can help in this process of taking India forward by starting an incubation center with the government help, or how does the government help in starting an incubation center, and how you decide
Right,
where to
sir.
start it.
Yeah, that's a great question, and very happy to hear this question. So, first of all, the first step which I would like to suggest is that funding the startup companies. So there are several startup companies with innovative prototypes and products where one can look for the funding support, and one can facilitate the funding or fund them directly as being the venture capitalist and angel networks, or form an angel network body or a venture capitalist body to fund the startups present in India. Because out of 100 startups, if you take as an example, for example, if you take 100 startups, so all the startups would not be funded because of the limitation in the funding. And in fact, we scout and filter a very good number of startups, a good quantum number of startups which are doing very well, but we cannot fund each and every startup at 100% level. But still there is a requirement. If you fund 10% of the startups out of 100, there are 90 left out which are very good with the scalability and also the viability. So this is one thing which one can do. And further is, you can set up always, there is an option for us to set up the incubation center. As in fact I told you, we require more number of incubation centers to be set up in India, which we are lagging behind. And by 2047, as I told you, 10,000 incubators we require. As on date, we have only 1,500 incubators, but still there is a gap, large gap, where there is an opportunity for you to contribute to start a incubation center, and the government will support. Now the ministries, various ministries, like Niti Aayog, and then Ministry of Electronics and IT, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Ministry of MSME, and Ministry of Commerce. These five ministries are doing very well in terms of funding the incubation centers. Like they fund the incubation centers through the approach of contribution, where suppose say you contribute some amount, for example, per se 5 crore rupees, then the ministry would also support you with 5 crores or 10 crores of investment in as a contribution, matching contribution. So this is how collaboratively you can set up the incubation centers. So these are the two ways I can say.
So please share with the whole process. So some of may be interested to do that, and either a part of their NGOs or individually, and how we can help in setting up, next to 1,500 uh, incubation center. That's what we will try to do, so that things can be accelerated and maybe more. You
Right,
know.
sir. Right.
Okay,
Right. One more
so
point
whole
I would
fund,
like to add.
what is required, funding requirements, and what is this, what is their incubation center? What are the
Right.
facilities you offer? And I have visited many years ago at MET University
Right.
in Gurgaon and Noida, but I forgot most of the things. But they had an incubation center at MET University. That was the only one I visited in about 2010. So, but I'd like to be updated on that and how
Right, sir.
all other universities and can be encouraged to set up these things and how we can work with them and what is required. Okay?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to add a comment to this. So there are about, as you told, all the NGOs are rightly eligible to start an incubation center, because to start an incubation center, it requires a Section 8 company, which is a not-for-profit company, or it can be an NGO or a trust or a foundation. So the NGOs or trust foundation is the right body to start an incubation center, and the government of India is encouraging only these bodies to start an incubation center. So it's an apt thing that the NGO or a trust or a foundation has to start an incubation center. Secondly, the Amity University is doing very well. The present Amity University CEO, Mr. Ojasvi, is my friend. So I happened to invite him for one program at JNTUH University, Hyderabad. So there he happened to address, and in fact, I met the chairman and also the CEO when I was in New Delhi in the month of January of this year 2025. So we had an 2 days program. So I was I'm the part of it. So they are doing very well. They have nearly 5,000 crores of corpus present with them with Amity University, and they are having nearly 800 startups with them as on date. So they are doing very well, very good job. So out of 1,500 incubation centers, there are 600 incubation centers which are located exclusively in the academia, that is in universities and colleges in India. So but still there is a large gap which is present, and we require support from people like you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
I think Jitu wants to say something. Please go ahead, Jitu. You have some
Yes,
question.
thank you. Excellent presentation, and I think your presentation outlines the infrastructure and the various sectors and the levels and stuff. Beautiful, excellent job. What I
Thank you, sir.
think to address the quality, which the question was raised earlier, is I'd like to see half of your presentation talking about successes. What happened so far? What's the impact of that? What was new thing bought? And then back up into why it happened, and then infrastructure. Infrastructure is great. It's just an organization that we do need, but the strength of the program is in success. So if I ask you just one quick question, give me the best outcome so far, what would that be? Just in a one sentence.
So it requires, as you told, yeah, my presentation is about what you have just told. So what we require is, so I'm just giving you a context of the gap which is present and where we can fill up together as the policymakers, and we look forward to do wonderful things to come up with our own execution projects per se. Now, just we said, like, one has to start the incubation centers and also to fund the startups. So that's what actually we have a gap which need to be filled up.
Yeah, well, that is true. I think what world gonna see is what did come out finally as a new innovation, new way to compute something, and it thunderous, or something found. So those are the kind of stuff I'd like to see it more populated in this presentation. And so just a suggestion, continue doing a
Yeah,
great job. But challenge your team even more and say, show me the outcome. Okay. Yeah, I
right,
think
right.
let's not take more time. I think we can go offline and do this. But this is something that will become more thunderous than what it is already today.
Right, sir. Right.
Prashant, you have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
So I think my question is asked by Mr. Desai as well. But my question is, I think, around the same thing, because this is incubation center to me. It looked like a admission, tool for the colleges or institutes. But the outcome when we see it, I think, do you have a mechanism to, measure the performance of the different institutions running incubation center, and how many, startups, continue after the student pass out from the college? If you can
Perfect,
measure
sir.
that, if
Perfect. Yeah, perfect question. So I would like to answer this. So as you rightly have asked about the incubation centers, the running mechanism. So we have been observing most of the academics are failing in doing making an outcome based and output based in startup companies, and there is always challenge for the students to become an entrepreneur or a startup. By means, because the parents actually they require a job, they require an uh, a, a a particular job for their for their kids to after graduation. And 95% of the parents don't want their kids to come up into the entrepreneurship, but just a safe job which will give them a salary. So now we have faced this challenge, and we have come up with a strategy to give a complete support to the student innovator, in the sense of you know giving them multiple grants stage by stage, in the prototype stage, in the product stage, and then followed with the business, where we give them access to the business and the network support, through which they get the work orders for their companies. And then thereon they would establish their own office, and then their own industry, and then they will go ahead. So I have 9 examples of such student startups, to whom we happen to convert them into a full-fledged startup company with an average turnover of 2 crore rupees. So this is what we have done, and we have shown this. So 9 student startups we have successfully produced, and we take 2 conditions from them, stating that number one, they should not do a job, they should not do the higher education, they should be with the incubation program, and then be serious, stable, focus, and dedicated to become the entrepreneur and startup. So that is what we have been doing, and the same we want to replicate in all the academic incubators. But generally academic incubators are not pertained to become the business incubation centers, because their capacity limits them, because basically their capacity is to make a student to be educated and to be graduated. But to have an incubation center, the incubation center should have the capacities to nurture the startups as a company, where you give gears, you give some functional gears which are related to the company. Like, you give a marketing platform, you give e-commerce platform, you give registrations platform, you give access to the chartered accountancy, you give access to the industry mentors, you give access to the product mentors, you give access to the funding people. You should have all these within your incubator, functionally and also active. Then only the incubation center can become a successful one to start to support the startup. So these are the things which we require.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.